Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So I'm back with my series of best and worst staterooms, continuing on with Royal Caribbean, and we are moving on to the Voyager class. So of course we're going to start with Voyager of the Seas. So let's get into a little bit of background on the Voyager of the Seas. She was built in 1999, so she is 22 years old. There is a total of 1,708 staterooms. There's a total of 15 decks and there's 9 decks with staterooms. So if you haven't seen these videos before, what I do is I go ahead and I use the website cruisestateroom.com. So cruisestateroom.com is a completely free website. They pretty much have every cruise ship imaginable with their deck plans, and people submit pictures of the staterooms, both of the balcony, of the actual stateroom. Some pictures are older and the rooms have been remodeled, but for the most part, you can get an idea of what the room looks like. And sometimes the rooms are pretty standard, but then there's always those special corner rooms or maybe some awkward rooms and some rooms to avoid. So that is what I use. I have been using this site for over 10 years. It's a great help when you're trying to pick where you're going to be on the ship. So I use the site. Now you do have to sign up for the site, but it is completely free, but you do have to be a member to access the pictures. So I did get permission from the site owner to use the site for these videos to kind of go through what I think are the best and worst staterooms. And again, I say that these are my opinions. So there are some special rooms, especially on the aft in the Voyager and Freedom class. There's some special aft cabins that may be a little bigger, or they have unique balconies. So those things are kind of special. But then a lot of times it's just me giving my advice of what I would do and where I prefer to stay. So let's get into some of the basics right now. Now, one thing to consider, some people say that when you are right directly below the pool deck, that deck can be quite loud because they'll be moving pool chairs, maybe late at night or early in the morning. Now, I have been directly below the pool deck and I never had an issue, and I am a late sleeper. However, a lot of people do report that. So keep that in mind. But if you're going to be in a suite, all the suites are on, most of the suites anyway, are on deck 10, which is the deck below the pool deck. So you maybe want to consider where you'll be on that floor. If you have a choice of where your stateroom can be, that might be look what's directly above. Another thing with the promenade. So the promenade, it's 6, 7, and 8. The 6th deck, if you are looking a promenade interior view, the 6th deck has been reported to be quite loud. So because if they have parades or they have a late night party, you're going to hear that noise. Now, 7 and 8, you're probably going to hear the noise, but it's not going to be as loud. So keep that in mind. Again, if you have little ones, maybe, and you want to do a promenade interior view, maybe avoid the deck 6 and go to decks 7 or 8. The aft, I personally love the aft. So, but a lot of people don't want to, be on the aft. There's always the hump, which is going to be, it sticks out a little bit, as well as it's just very central to the ship. With these larger ships, you're going to do a lot of walking. And then the forward, you're going to have much more movement in the forward part of the ship. If you're concerned as far as, getting seasick, you get seasick, or you're unsure if you'll be seasick, then definitely try and be middle of the ship, and then as low as possible. Don't try and get on one of the higher decks. So that's kind of some of the basics. There's tons of videos of things to look for and things to avoid. And one of the things I try to do is I try to look at where are the things that I'm going to be spending the most time at. Where's Splashaway Bay, or where's the kid area on the pool deck? Where is the kids club? Because I'll be obviously dropping and picking up my son a lot at the kids club. So I look at where that is, and I try to be very close proximity to that. Where am I going to access the moat? I do tend to prefer to be in the middle or back part of the ship rather than the forward part of the ship. But those are also things that I always consider is where am I going to try and access the most? And that's where I try to make my room. Now, two more things. I can't mention Royal Caribbean without mentioning Royal Caribbean Blog. Royal Caribbean Blog, Matt, he has obviously a blog, he has a YouTube channel, and he has a podcast. Really great information, and he has a live Q&A every Monday night at 7:30 for an hour, totally free on YouTube. So definitely check out. I'll post a link below. And then also, whenever you're booking a cruise, whether it's Disney Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, whatever, book through a travel agent. Travel agents don't charge you anything. You're not going to pay more for going through a travel agent. And in fact, you probably could save money, as well as a lot of times travel agents will give you an onboard credit. I am not a travel agent, so I'm not trying to promote any business of mine. I do personally use touring plans. They have a travel agency. I'll post their link below. Royal Caribbean Blog works a lot with MEI Travel, as well as Lalita Loca, if you've tried, or Lalito Loca YouTube channel. The Jenny from Tony's wife is a travel agent, as well as Don's Family's Vacation. He has a great YouTube channel for cruise information, and he is a travel agent as well. And then specific to Royal Caribbean, there's a group called Moms at Sea, and it's on Facebook. And the travel agent Jamie she specializes in Royal Caribbean, but also specializes in families on Royal Caribbean. So that's a really great group to check out on Facebook, and I'll also post her link below for travel agents. So I'm not kind of recommending any of them, but I just recommend going with a travel agent, and then going with a travel agent who knows the line that you're going on. So someone, if you're obviously on this video, someone who specializes in Royal Caribbean. So with that, let's go ahead and look at what the staterooms are categories on the Voyager. So in the suites, we start with the Royal Suite. It is 1,087 square feet with a balcony of 217 square feet. There's only one of them, and it's on deck 10. There's 8 owner suites, category OS. It is 559 square feet, and it is a 90 square foot balcony, also on deck 10. The Grand Suite 2 bedrooms, there's 4 of them. The cabins are 561 square feet with a balcony of 246 square feet. These 4 staterooms are on the aft, and they are on decks 8 and 9. And then there are the Grand Suite 1 bedrooms. There's 22 of them. They are 349 square feet with a balcony on average of 100 square feet. They are all on deck 10. The junior suites, there's 84 of them. They are categories J3 and J4. They are on average 264 square feet with a balcony of 75 square feet, and they are on decks 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11. And the last in the suite category is the Panoramic Suite, category VP. There's only 2 of them. Now, this is the only suite that doesn't have a balcony. So it is an ocean view, but you're going to have an amazing view. I'll go over it in a little bit. They are on deck 12, and they are 406 square feet. Moving on to the balcony categories, there is the Spacious Balcony category. There's 362 of them, categories CB, 1B, 2B, 3B, 4B. They are on average 179 square feet with a balcony of 52 square feet, and they are on decks 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then there's the balcony category. There's 380 of them, categories 1D, 2D, 3D, 4D, and 5D. They are on average 164 square feet with a balcony of 51 square feet, and they are on decks 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Then there is now we're moving on to the Ocean View. We have the Ultra Spacious Oceanview. There are 8 of them. The Ultra Spacious Oceanview sleep up to 6. There's actually 2 bunk beds. This is category 1K. It is, again, Ultra Spacious Oceanview. The cabin is about 265 square feet, decks 6, 7, 8, and 9. Then there is the Panoramic Oceanview. There's 22 of them. This is category 1L, and these cabins run on average 191 square feet, and these are all on deck 12. Then there is the Spacious Oceanview. These are, there's 44 of them, so not to be confused with Ultra Spacious. This is just spacious. It just means it has a little bit of extra room, but it still only sleeps up to 4. These are categories 3M and 4M. They are on average 175 square feet on decks 6, 7, 8, and 9. Then there's the Ocean View Stateroom. There's 178 of them, categories 1N, 2N, 3N, and 4N. They are about 160 square feet, and they are on decks 2, 3, 6, 7, and 9. And then for the interior staterooms, there is the Promenade View interior, which I mentioned a little while ago. There's 157 of them. They are categories 2T and CP, and they are on average 160 square feet. They are on decks 6, 7, and 8. And then finally, the largest category is the interior category. There's 533 of them, categories 2U, 4U, 1V, 2V, 3V, 4V, and CI. These cabins run on average 150 square feet. They are on decks 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So now let's go to cruisestateroom.com and take a look at the deck plans. We're going to start here on cruisestateroom.com, and as you can see, they pretty much have every cruise ship imaginable. And I'm going to go down here to Voyager of the Seas, and that's going to bring us over to the deck plan. And we will get started. And as you can see here, let's take a look at the deck. So we'll just look here. You can see the deck start on deck 2. We have deck 2 there, some staterooms. Then you have deck 3. And then we're going to go to deck 6, which is where they start again. Deck 7. And as you can see here, this is where all the pictures are. So this is where you need to be a member. You can see all there. And at the bottom, this is very helpful, has all the different categories as well. Let's look at deck 8, deck 9, 10, and we'll look at 11, and then 12. So those are all the decks that have staterooms. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the suites. Now with the Royal Suite, as you can see, it's category RS. We are on deck 10, and there is only one of them, so we're not going to spend too much time here. And if you want to see a video, you can click on this little link right here, but it's on deck 10, right on the hump, and that's the Royal Suite. Moving on to the owner suites, there are 8 of them. As you can see, it's this olive green color. They are also all on deck 10. And you can see right here, they are going to start more on the forward portion. So there's 4 on this left-hand side. And then you have 4 over here. And so it says that there's 8, but there's actually 10 if you look here. So there are 10. And then there's 2 on the hump. So of the 10 here, I think the best ones are definitely going to be 1320 and then 1314, just because they're on the hump. But honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with any of these staterooms. Then we're going to move on to the category Grand Suite 2-bedroom, category GT. There are 4 of them. They sleep up to 8, and these are on decks 8 and 9. So let's go ahead and go down to deck 8. You can see 8694, 8394. Let's just go ahead and take a look. Now these do have obstructed views, as you can see from the aft here, but then they have these beautiful large balconies. So of the two, I think you can't go, of the 2 decks, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. There's not going to be much difference between one side or the other, because they're they're just right next to each other. But I personally would probably try to get to deck 9, because deck 9 is going to be a little bit higher up and have a little bit probably less obstructive view. So let's see if we can get some balcony pictures here. Nope, it doesn't look like there's any balcony pictures on this one. Let's see. Oh yes, here there's one. So this is 9694. So as you can see, this is just a little bit higher up. I think it's going to just be a better location. But honestly, if you're in a Grand Suite 2-bedroom, I don't think you can complain. Now let's move on to Grand Suite 1-bedroom, category GS. This is going to be back to deck 10. It is this hot pink color. So there's one right here, 1324. And then we're going to move over to all the way in the front. So all of these in the front over here. Honestly, I think the best one is going to be 1324 right here on the hump. And then honestly, I would probably try to get closer as much as possible. You have 1588, 1288. Those would be the ones that I would try to get to, just to be as close to the middle as possible. However, if you're going to spend a lot of time or you want to be close to an elevator or stairwell, then 1548, 1248 might be great for you, just because it's very, very close to the elevator and stairs. But personally, I would prefer to be more midship. Moving on to the junior suite, there are 84 of them, and they are going to be on deck 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11, categories J3 and J4. And on deck 6 and 7, they are all on the aft. So I am a big fan of the aft, so it really just depends. And the one thing about the aft staterooms, as you can see, they do seem to be a little bit larger. And the balconies are a little bit more extended. Now with deck 6, you're going to be on the same level as this outside portion. Personally, if you have little ones, I think it just makes it feel a little bit safer. You'll be able to see, if you can see here, you'll still be able to see the ocean once you are at sea, but it just does feel a little bit safer. But I am a big fan of these aft staterooms. However, I don't think the 6th deck is probably the one I would choose. But I do think these rooms are great. I feel like they're just a tad bit bigger. And as you can see, this is from 2016, and it is a little bit more updated. So that's deck 6. Let's move on to deck 7. And again, there's 4 on deck 7. I think any one of these are great. I think the middle, personally, the ones in the middle are the best, but again, the balconies are just a little bit further extended. They're just going to give you a lot of extra space. And then plus, if you happen to be going to Coco Key, you'll be able to see a lot from your balcony once you're in port. Same thing with Nassau as well. So that's deck 7. Then we're going to go up to deck 9. And so deck 9, they start a little bit on the hump just before in the aft. Now, this is where if you want to be on the hump, this is the deck you're going to want to be on. So deck 9, very great because it's still 2 decks below the pool deck, so you're not going to have an issue with noise. In this deck, I would say 9618, 9318 are going to be your best bet, with the other ones on the hump also being fantastic. Obviously, you're going to go a little bit more forward. I'm not a big fan of being forward, but if you wanted to be near the elevators or stairs in the forward portion, then 9548 and 9248 would be also great as well. Now let's go up to deck 10. These two are handicapped accessible, and they're also right near the elevator and stairs, so that's very convenient. These two, 1612 and 1312, and then 1624 are probably the best bet on deck 10. If you wanted to be midship and on the hump, obviously very close proximity to the elevator and stairs, and then just very midship. Then you have these two right here. You have 1694, 1394. I was in a similar room on the Freedom, which is 1706, pretty much the same thing. And this is, if you wanted an aft junior suite, these two are the ones I would recommend of the, I guess, 10 and that's just because it's a little higher up. You're going to have a better, clearer view. The room is probably going to be the same, but you've got a nice extended balcony, and you're going to have less obstruction being just on the 10th deck. So I'm a big fan of these two rooms right here. However, the best bet in the junior suite category on the Voyager are these two right here, 1156 and 1154. They are not, you can't find pictures. There's no pictures of them. However, this one for some reason is not a junior suite. I did verify, but look at the balcony. So these staterooms, look at the balcony. So that balcony is going to be on the other side. So those two staterooms are going to have huge balconies. We'll get to this cabin in a minute. This cabin is considered for some reason 4D. I did check on the Royal Caribbean website. It is listed as a 4D. But so these two staterooms, I would say that these two staterooms, as you can see, have these huge balconies. So the best junior suites on the Voyager of the Seas are absolutely going to be 1156 and 1154 without question. Last in the suite category is the Panoramic Suite, category VP. There are only 2 of them. They are 406 square feet. They are on deck 12 and they are all the way forward. Now these 2 staterooms do not have a balcony. They are ocean view, but they have, as you can see, floor to ceiling windows. Very beautiful. But the caveat with these suites is not only that do they not have a balcony, but they also don't have a bathtub. So as you can see, it's got like a handicap type bathtub. So, bathroom. So you have the shower with the curtain, definitely more space, but you're not going to have a bathtub in these suites. So beautiful staterooms. However, just keep in mind that you're paying the price for a suite and you're not going to get a bathtub. So that again is stateroom 1804 and then 1854. But again, those are beautiful staterooms. Next up, we have the Spacious Balcony staterooms. This is category CB, 1B, 2B, 3B, and 4B. They are on decks 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will say the best staterooms are on deck 10, so I'm going to go through each of the decks. For the most part, a lot of this just depends on location. Remember, these staterooms are about 15 more square feet than the regular balcony staterooms. They're going to be the connecting ones are these mustard color. The ones that are not connecting are the 3B, 4B. As always, check with your travel agent as far as the occupancy of each stateroom. The ones that have the asterisk sleep 4, the ones that have the little triangle right here only sleep 3, and then a lot of the connecting rooms are only sleep 2. So you want to keep that in mind. As you can see here, there are other connecting rooms that aren't categorized as CB. So just because it's not CB doesn't mean it doesn't have connecting. So that's where our travel agent really is going to help you. So as you can see, deck 6, a lot of this just depends on where do you want to be. Do you want to be towards the aft, in the middle? Obviously, I always prefer being towards midship or being in the aft. Then you have other categories here. And then again, once you get more forward, you have the 3B category. And then there's a couple 1B, 2B. These are the ones that are closest to the elevator and staircase. Same thing goes with deck 7. So none of these stand out, just a matter of location. Where do you want to be next to you? Do you want to be near the solarium, the spa, then maybe be forward? If you want to be more towards the food court and everything, then be towards the back. This is going to be obviously the aft. So obviously if you're going to be on deck 7, try and get midship. Then we're going to go to deck 8. Same thing. Most of them are on the aft or forward. Same thing here. So again, just where do you want to be? Deck 9. Now, deck 9 is where you're probably going to have the best category as far as being midship. So you have some forward here. Then you have a couple midship. So you have the hot pink ones. That's going to be the 1B, 2B. I think the best ones here is going to be obviously 9320. And then you have 9620, 9622, 9320, 9322. Those are all directly on the hump. These as well. And then you have some more aft. So obviously midship 9. 9 is going to give you the most midship locations for this category. But like I said, let's go to deck 10. So let's start in the front. As you can see here, there's some forward. Those are not my favorite, but those would be options again if you wanted just to be on deck 10 and maybe near the spa. But the best ones in this category, you can see towards the aft, but the special staterooms are actually on the aft. So you have 1688 and 1388. These are what is called the stripper pole rooms. If you watched any of my Freedom class ships, they have similar rooms on that class of ships. And they actually started on the Voyager. So as you can see, this room, it is definitely bigger than a regular balcony stateroom. This is going to be much bigger than any of the Spacious Balcony staterooms. It's almost the size of a junior suite. You do have this big pole in the middle, but I will tell you, having stayed in a similar room on the Liberty, you get used to it. It's not a big deal. And then the balcony is on the corner. And it's a little bit extended. So you have this really nice extended balcony, corner balcony, and then you have extra room. So that's 1688, 1388 on deck 10. And then if those two aren't available, and if any of these 4 are available, these I think would be your next bet. These are just going to have same size stateroom, but the balcony is going to be a little extended. You can have that beautiful view of the aft. As you can see, nice large balcony. However, the stateroom will be the regular size. So that I think is your best bet for the spacious balcony category. Moving on, we're now in the balcony category, and we're going to start with balcony category 5D. That is on deck 6, 7, and 8. We're going to start on deck 6, and it is this light pink color. As you can see, there's a couple near the hump. These sleep, the ones that have triangles sleep only 3. So it usually has a Pullman, but no pull-out sofa. So keep that in mind. Any of them that have the little triangle mean they only sleep 3. Again, same thing applies. I'd rather be toward midship. However, in this category, the best ones are all going to be on the aft. So you have 6688, 6388. The ones, these two right here, 6690 and 6390 are going to be good. They're going to have that extended balcony, but the corner ones are really the ones that you want to get. Okay, this one does not have a picture of the balcony, and let's see if this one does. Nope, it doesn't really have a picture of the balcony, but I will tell you these balconies, if you want to take a look, you could probably see on other staterooms, these are going to have a little bit of an extended balcony of a corner. Now let's move up to deck 8. Same thing here. Now, deck 8, it's only on the aft. You have 8690 and 8390. Let's see if we can see a picture of the stateroom. Yes, here we have, there's a nice corner balcony. And as you can see here in the stateroom, it doesn't have a sliding glass door. It just has a regular door. And there's the Pullman right there. So you do have this really nice corner balcony on deck 8. So I think this is definitely going to give you the most bang for your buck in the 5D balcony category. The best staterooms, though, are going to be on deck 7. Now, there are some throughout the ship, so you can see on deck 7. Obviously, if you wanted to be midship, you didn't want to be on the aft, then you'd probably look at these 7610, 7310, 7628, 7328, definitely going to keep you very midship. However, the best ones are going to be 7688 and 7338. If you want to watch a video, you can click here. But 7688 is going to give you a massive size balcony. So you can take a look here. That is all of your balcony. Now, the room itself will be the same, but this is your balcony. It is absolutely massive. We stayed in a similar stateroom on the Freedom, and it is incredible. You're just going to have room for days. It just gives you a lot of extra space. It's just fantastic. So these rooms, this is category 5D. Best rooms in this category by far are 7688 and 7388. Moving on in the balcony category, we're moving on to categories 3D and 4D. And this is where I think you're going to get the most bang for your buck if you can get 2 specific cabins. So let's look at these staterooms. Start on deck 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So we're going to start on deck 7, and there's not that many. There's just, I think, only one, and it's right at the front, 7544, right near the elevator. So again, if you're going to spend a lot of time in the solarium, this might be a location, but this is personally not the stateroom I would prefer. Again, for deck 8, you're just going to have these 2 right here, and I'm pretty sure that is it. Yep. So you just have those 2 right near the elevator and stairwell. You know, they're not bad, but not the best. Next is going to be deck 9. So deck 9, there's a little bit more. There's 4 here by the stairwell and elevators, so not bad. We'll move down a little bit towards the aft. Now, these are really great staterooms right here. These are not the best, but these are, I would say, better. You have these corner ones, 9690 and 9390, really great staterooms. These are right corner. As you can see, they don't have the sliding door, but they're going to have that door and then a porthole, which is nice. So you have a little bit of both, and you're going to have this nice size corner balcony right on the aft. So it will be a little bit obstructed toward the front, but on the side, it will be unobstructed. So it's going to be a really nice stateroom. Again, I always love being on the aft. I love watching the wake of the ship from my balcony. So you have those two, 9690, 9390, 9692 and 9392 would be great as well. They're going to give you a little bit of an extended balcony. You can watch a video here, but it's not going to give you as much extra space. Now, let's move up to deck 10. Deck 10, there's a couple here. Let's see, they're in the front. Yes, they're right in the front, 1536, 1538. Again, I don't think there's anything to write home about. Close to the front stairwell, but that's it. Now deck 11. This is where we saw a little while ago. These staterooms right here. These were added recently. I don't have dates of when they were added, but the best staterooms here are going to be 1106 and 1108. Why these are considered balconies and these are considered junior suites, I'm not really sure. There is a video here on YouTube that you can see. There's this huge balcony, and this one, it looks like it's a junior suite. However, I did check the deck plan on Royal Caribbean, and this is categorized according to their website as a balcony stateroom. So it has this huge balcony. Now the balcony isn't open air. As you can see, it does have plexiglass. So, but I mean, you're pretty much, and that's because you're at the front of the ship. So it would be very, very windy up there if you didn't have this, but that's amazing. So that is a huge, huge balcony. So that is 1106 and 1108. Other ones, I think any of these are going to be also great staterooms as well. I think they're going to be a little bit larger. And then these right here in the front are going to be great. They're going to have nice extended balconies. You're going to have that plexiglass as well, but those are going to be newer staterooms, newer amenities. But again, the best, by far the best in the balcony categories is 1106 and 1108. And finally, in the balcony category, we have categories 1D and 2D. These are on decks 6, 7, and 8. And these are going to give you the best location. They're all mostly on the hump or forward. So you have the hump on deck 6, and then you see forward right here. These are going to be the teal. Same, pretty much the same on every deck, 7 as well. And then you see the hump on deck 7 right there. And then we're going to go down to deck 8. And for the most part, it's the same staterooms. So of these, I think you're going to go for directly on the hump. I personally would want to be on deck 8, a little bit higher. 8618, 8318 are probably going to be the best bet in the stateroom because it's right on the hump. But again, I think any of these categories, if you're going to book this category, you're doing it for location. And if you're going to do it, I would book on the hump. Now we're moving on to the ocean view staterooms, and we're going to start with the ultra spacious ocean view category, category 1K. This used to be known as the family ocean view category. These sleep up to 6, and that's because, as you can see, they will have some bunk beds right in the front. So these are on decks 6, 7, 8, and 9. And there are 2 on each deck, and on every deck, they're all the way forward. So if you don't like being in the forward part of the ship, this is not the category for you. So let's click here. This is category. This is stateroom 6200, and as you can see, there's 2 bunk beds. And let's just take a look at the stateroom. As you can see, it's a nice size, family size stateroom. Moving up to deck 7. Pretty much the same thing. We're going to look at 7200. It's going to be the same thing. It'll also have the 2 bunk beds. Now we're going to go up to deck 9, 9200, same type of thing. We're going to have a nice size stateroom. This one is a little bit wider, but it's not as long. I personally think that's better. I think when they're a little bit more square, they feel a little bit larger, but that could just be my perception. But that is 9200. The best bet in this category is by far going to be on deck 8, and it's going to be 8200, followed by 8500, but 8200 is by far the clear winner in this category. And that is because it is just shaped differently. It's long ways, as you can see here. It's just going to give you a lot of extra space. This is where you walk in. This is the bedroom, and on this side, on here, will be the bunk beds. So you have a little bit of space. If you have your kids, you kind of have a little bit of space there on the other side of the room. So in the best rooms or staterooms in the 1K category are going to be 8,200, followed by 8,500. And then after that, I would probably go for deck 9, then 7, then 6. But again, I think all the staterooms are great. You are going to get extra space and you're going to get 6 beds. Moving on to the Panoramic Oceanview staterooms. These are 1L and they are all on deck 12. There are 22 of them. These are newly added staterooms and they are all the ones in yellow. As you can see, this one right here is handicapped accessible, so I won't talk about that. You have the 2 right here in the front, 1852, 1802. The best one in this category is by far going to be 1864. It is a corner stateroom. Now there's no pictures, but you will be able to see this video here, and it's just going to give you a lot of extra space. It's a corner, so it is definitely more than the 191 square feet. So this is by far the best in this category. Keep in mind with the Panoramic Oceanview, you do have to keep your blinds closed after sunset because it can disrupt the captain from seeing. So that's just something to know before you book. If this one, 1864, wasn't available, I would probably book 1852 or 1802. You would literally be seeing like you're driving the ship. I think that would be a lot of fun. But honestly, any of these are going to be beautiful. Everyone that I know that's booked one of these staterooms has absolutely loved it. You've got floor to ceiling windows. It's just going to be absolutely beautiful. Plus they're newer, so the amenities in the staterooms are newer as well. But 1864 is by far the best in this category. Now we're at the Spacious Oceanview category, categories 3M and 4M. There's only 20 of these staterooms, and they are on decks 6, 7, 8, and 9. And these staterooms are going to give you just a little bit of extra space than a standard Oceanview stateroom. And as you can see here, it's this kind of mid-pink staterooms. So you do have a little bit of extra room. So I do think these staterooms are worth booking because it is going to give you a little bit more room than a standard Oceanview. There's not much. There's 2 here in the front. Personally, I would probably want to be towards the back, but the front is going to give you some nice extra space. And as you can see, you have a lot of extra space around here. So that is deck 6. There really aren't any standouts in this category. There's a couple that I would probably book more than others. Here's some on the aft. Let's go to deck 8. And deck 8, they are right here in the front as well. So 8514. And actually there's no pictures there. So 8514, 82 14. I think the best ones on this category are going to be right here on deck 9. You've got 8 of them. 9518 looks to be pretty good. It looks to be a little bit of extra room. You've got, there you have a little extra room there. And, you know, they're Oceanview staterooms. They're not that big. Personally, I would probably pick in this category, I would probably pick 9502. 9202, it looks like it might give you just a little bit of extra room. But again, I think any of these rooms are good. They're not going to be huge, but they are going to give you maybe 10 or 15 extra square feet. And when you're talking, 179 square feet, that extra 10 or 15 square feet makes a difference. Now we're on to the Oceanview staterooms, categories 1N, 2N, 3N, and 4N. They are on decks 2, 3, 6, 7, and 9. So we're going to start with deck 2. And deck 2, you will see most of the staterooms here are Oceanview. Actually, all of them are Oceanview. So you have the 3N and 4N all the way towards the front. Midship will be the 1 and 2N, which makes sense because it is midship. And then you have here the 3N and 4N. Now there is something to note here. There is a star and it says report of a constant drone and a tapping, particularly bad at night when the ship is quieter. So I would try to avoid this area right here because of that report. You don't see a lot of these reports here, so that is something very important to take note. So if you were going to be on one of the lower decks, decks 2 or 3, I would definitely recommend being on deck 2 and not deck 3, and I'll show you why. So we're going to go up to deck 3. The reason why is because this is the top level of Studio B. You can see right here, there is Studio B. You cannot walk across. So let's say you want to go to the solarium and you are right here. You're going to have to walk this way to go to this stairs, an elevator, to go up, to walk back. So you're going to have to backtrack. Same thing, here it's not going to be, let's say here, 3268. Let's say you're in this stateroom here. You want to go to the windjammer. You have to walk all the way over here to the stairwell to go up to walk back. So you're going to be backtracking a lot because you cannot just walk across because of Studio B. So that is why I don't recommend being on deck 3 if you can avoid it. But that is deck 3. Now we're going to go up all the way up to deck 9. And there's a couple here. They are, let's see, they are these right here, 9514, 9214. Not bad staterooms. They're going to probably give you a little bit of extra room because they're on the corner, as you can see. But these are probably not the ones I would recommend in this category. Then we're going to go down to deck 7. The best staterooms in this category by far are on deck 7. You have 7506 and 7206. These staterooms are just, they're corner shaped and they're going to give you a little bit of extra room. Definitely more than the 160 square feet that most of the Oceanview staterooms have. You do have this pole here, but again, you're going to get extra room. It's going to feel a lot more spacious. So that is 7206. And let's take a look at 7506. Same thing. It's just going to give you a little bit of extra room because it is on that corner. I think these 4 staterooms here are also good. Probably not as good as those corner ones, but because you have the forward, you have the slanted wall, it is going to give you a little bit of extra space. Going down to deck 6. Deck 6, again, these 4 staterooms right here are going to be great, but the best ones are going to be the ones on the end, 6508 and 6208. Not as good as the ones on deck 7, but these are going to give you a little bit of extra room. And again, definitely more than the 160 square feet that the regular Oceanview staterooms. So my best bet are these corner rooms on deck 6, or the best in this category are definitely 7506 or 7206. Next up is the Promenade View interior. You have 2T and CP. CP are the ones that are connecting. It doesn't mean that there aren't other connecting, but those are connecting, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to move and we're going to start with deck 6. So here there's really not much to write home about. I think it's just a matter of where you want to be. They're all midship, but do you want to be closer to the midship or more forward? Personally, I would want to be more midship. So this is where I would want to be, probably, this side here. Now, of the 3 decks, I would definitely pick deck 8. The reason being because of noise. They do report that deck 6 can get loud if there's a parade or a late night party on the promenade. It is going to get loud. So of the Promenade View interior staterooms, I think the best staterooms are going to be right here on deck 8. This pretty much 12 staterooms right here. 8601 to 8611 and 8301 to 8311. Not that there's anything wrong with the other ones. I think these are just more midship and they're going to be higher up, which is going to give you a little bit of distance from the noise on the promenades. But here's some pictures. I always love this little daybed on the Promenade View interior staterooms. But there you have it. That is the Promenade View interior staterooms on the Voyager. Now we're moving on to the last and largest category, which is interior. We have 2U, 4U, 1V, 2V, 3V, 4V, and CI. And I'm just going to go through all of them very fast
2U and 4U have the virtual balconies. So keep that in mind. Those are the ones that have the virtual balconies, and those are on decks 9 and 10. So if you want that virtual balcony, those are the decks you're going to want to look, and that's the category you are going to want to book. Now, something to note here, cabin 6109, 6209, 6509, 6211, 6683, 6687, 6477, 6483, 6487, 6383, 6387 are 134 square feet instead of 150. That's 16 square feet, which is about more than 10% smaller. So keep that in mind. And honestly, I would just avoid those rooms if possible. So let's go to deck 3. Now, again, I did mention that I don't recommend booking deck 3 because you can't walk across. So, they're just right here. I don't think it's a bad floor to be on, a bad deck to be on, but again, you just aren't going to be able to walk across, which could be very inconvenient. But again, if you're booking interior, you're probably not going to be planning on spending a lot of time in your stateroom. Let's go up to deck 6, and the ones are going to be on decks 6, 7, and 8. They're going to be forward and aft because of the promenade. So these are the ones I would say to avoid because a lot of these are smaller than 150 square feet. I already listed the numbers. Just go back to this website to refer back to those numbers. And here you have some on the aft as well. Let's move up to deck 7. Same thing. There's some on the aft. If you're going to book, I would try book midship if you could. Let's see here. Again, right there. Now decks 8 and 9. This is where you'll see here some in the forward, and then you have some right here. This is going to be, I think these are going to be obviously the most central right here. They're right near the RCCL line, 8321. Definitely very, very central. If you're worried about getting seasick, this is probably a good area to be in because you are pretty much midship. Let's go up to deck 9. And we'll see here again, very, very midship. Again, these are just pretty standard, but here is where you're going to see the virtual balconies. So you have the 2U. These all have the virtual balconies. Let's see here. We get a good picture of the virtual balcony right here. So that's what that's going to look like. I think that'd be fun. It'd be something different, especially if you have kids. Otherwise, you have some forward here. Again, nothing special. And here we have 1V, 2V, and some more virtual balconies here, 2U, some handicapped accessible virtual balconies, and I believe these are the 4U staterooms, a little bit more in the aft, and then here are just the regular interior. Now we're going to move up to deck 11, and these are all forward. Now, these are some unique staterooms right here. And the good thing about these, I don't think they're going to be any larger. However, they were added recently. So as you can see, the amenities are very new. It's a pretty new sofa. So everything's just going to feel newer. There's a video here. You can take a look at it, but it just shows it's a standard size interior stateroom, but it's going to be very, very new. Obviously, if you're going to be spending a lot of time in the solarium, these staterooms would be great as well. The best are going to be on deck 12, and there are 2 that I can't find any pictures of, but I would say would probably give you just a little bit of extra space, and that's stateroom 1851 and stateroom 1815. As you can see, they are a little bit of a corner, so they're just probably going to be just a tad larger and give you a little bit of extra walking space. And when you're talking about 150 square feet, a little bit of extra walking space goes a long way. So obviously these are all the way forward, but if you're booking an interior stateroom, your best bang for your buck is going to be 1851 and 1815. And there you have it. That's the best and worst staterooms on the Voyager of the Seas.
So there you have it. Those are my recommendations of best and worst staterooms on the Voyager of the Seas. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have if you've had any of these staterooms or you have recommendations, definitely leave in the comments below. That definitely helps others when they're looking at this video to maybe help them select as well. And if you have any questions, also leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.